All right, continuing this fire or these fire matchups, I should say. We have round 4 with Random7HS versus BBG for Duels of Runeterra 16. Again, two amazing players that have been around for quite some time. Random having topped previous Duels of Runeterra. BBG having won, I believe it was Duels of Runeterra number 12. So he would be taking home his second victory for Duels of Runeterra if he's able to go all the way in this tournament. And yeah, this was another amazing game. If you guys are looking to get involved with the tournament, link will be in the description below of where you can go ahead and check it out. And as always, don't forget to subscribe to this channel because you're going to get every single round. All of them. Every single one. Top cut. Finals. They're all here on this channel. And if you subscribe and you click the bell, you know when they go live. It's easy. Just do it. But anyways, let's go ahead. Game 1 of round 4, Duels of Runeterra 16, Random7HS versus BBG. Head on over BBG versus Random7HS, which this is going to be a damn good matchup.
Oh man, I'm actually I wanted to quick peek in on that What Am I versus Pat deck lineup, and I wanted to say that it would be actually Pat unfavored because What Am I is playing Kid Cudi, but he's actually not playing the Leona. He's just playing the Diana as far as the main deck goes.
That's not good.
So not going to help him in that aggro matchup, but maybe he sides it. We'll hop over to that one after this probably because SJW just cannot stay away from this elusive deck. But for now, we've got a long one ahead of us as this Anivia is going to try to outgrind the Lee Sin here in round number 4.
And there we go. Get the match score up for everybody. And yeah, let's see if it can do some outgrinding. And honestly, from back when I was casting with Nola Gold the other week as well, we had a long discussion about this because Lee Sin was huge in that IQ qualifier. This Lee Sin deck does a great job of outgrinding. It really does. It has the tools to just stay on board, stay relevant, and stay alive, most importantly, until it's able to just go off on that combo. So we'll see if Random is able to get a big, beefy board established before BBG can go ahead and get something like that Lee Sin Overwhelm set up.
He's got a pretty good shot at it. Generally, the Anivia decks are coming out to try and outgrind what you consider to be one of the better late-game decks in the format, one of the inevitable win conditions. Mm-hmm. We've seen it as an answer to, you know, Heimerdinger in the past. We've seen it as an answer to the Aurelian Soul decks. So, yeah, you know, I think that with how much success people have found with it, you know, it is reasonable to say that it's also a counter to the Lee Sin. We'll actually have to see how this one does shake out, though.
And looks like we're already getting the concussive palm out to go ahead and save this Zed. So yeah, sad Boro emote coming out from Random. That is pretty big for BBG here because he will be able to continue keeping this aggression on with the Zed. And we see the Zenith Blade in hand. Maybe that's kind of what he's eyeing here, depending on what Random decides to go with next. We can get this Overwhelm onto the Zed, buff it up, make it a little stickier. And ultimately, especially after that gem, now all of a sudden we have a very dangerous Zed. And we have Lee Sin top deck now. This is huge. This is really good for BBG, I think.
No, but we see a little bit of ramp out of Random. Could see the Anivia next turn, but yeah, I'm not sure how much it's going to matter in the face of this Lee Sin. No protection for it just yet, though. It does find the Nopify, but there's nothing that Random plays for 2 mana, or 3 mana rather, that is going to be touching that Lee Sin. It would be a Vengeance, and we still don't have anything for that one.
And we do have 9 mana for Random, so plenty of mana to deal with it if we do get the Lee Sin down. But it looks like we're going to go with the Resonating Strike onto the Zed, and we're just going for it, baby. We are just going for a lot of damage. We need something here. This is really aggressive from BBG. I mean, this could get killed by Grasp. Yep, there's the Grasp. So we're really only going to push 7 damage here, which...
This does... Oh, no, it doesn't level the Lee Sin. Or not the Lee Sin, the Zed.
Nope.
Yeah, it didn't survive until the end to actually see it happen, so...
Yeah, that feels really bad. So I don't know. I will say... See, now, if he had played the Zenith Blade, which is the route I thought he was going to go with the Zed, it would have lived through that Grasp, but the other...
It would have died when he played the Zenith Blade.
Oh, actually, yeah. No. If he played it at the beginning... Or, sorry, at the end of the previous turn. That's what I was expecting him to do, to get the Overwhelm onto it, but he didn't go with that route.
I think he really needs to daybreak it because he does have the Lee Sin, so I understand not going for it. It would have been kind of a weird play.
And we have... Looks like, considering the Zenith Blade again, but wants to get the Lee Sin to stick first. This is going to be... It's definitely an awkward turn, especially with something like the Anivia just coming down already. I mean, we're only 2 turns away from it being enlightened. So, honestly, Random in just as good of a spot, it seems like, as BBG, heading towards an early ramp here.
What is he playing? Oh, Vile Feast. Okay. You know, you do have the Nopify for this if you want to save the Zed, and I think there's like 2 Nopifiable cards in this deck. Yeah, it is just Vile Feast and Glimpse Beyond that you can actually play this on, so I think that saving the Zed with it is about as good as you're going to get out of it. But until you play, you know, one of these gems at least, you actually can't attack with the Lee Sin. It can just get blocked by the Anivia.
Yep.
And with Random being so close to leveling the bird, he's not even going to feel bad about throwing it under the bus as a blocker on the following turn because this Lee Sin deck, no removal for the egg.
Yeah, this is... Well, I mean, technically, if you... Oh, no, because you'd have to go back-to-back turns on a challenge, and by then, Random's going to be enlightened, so...
Yeah, so it's going to be able to get that. That's going to take this one of these Eye of the Dragons off the table. It will actually also kill the Zed on the crackback, so you might have to challenge it with the Lee Sin, try to push through the Zed level up. It does still feel awkward, though. This Anivia is still coming down next turn. There's nothing you can do about it. No protection of...
Wow, that's so risky, too, because Ruination's a thing. And there's 3 in Random's deck. I cannot believe BBG just went for that.
Killing the Anivia is even a little bit risky, because if Random's sitting on a Rekindler, that means he's got 2 Anivias for the following turn.
The Lee Sin is leveled, though, so this might just be... All right, what is... I forget what his health total is. Yeah, Random's at 13. This might be pretty close to lethal here.
I'm sure Random's got something. He doesn't have Ruination. He's got to have Harsh Winds. I mean, even another copy of Anivia represents a Harsh Winds, and that is one of the strengths of this deck, is having that champion spell available. Looks like something's popping out of the hand. Random, what do you have to stop the lethal?
Is he going to try to Vengeance the Lee Sin? It's risky, too, because even though we know there's no Bastion in BBG's hand, you got to assume Random is expecting that, or some way to protect this Lee Sin. But BBG, honestly, this whole time has shown that he just doesn't care. He's just going for it. Not only that, but
he has neither, and he is going to lose a lot for this.
Wow. And unfortunately, Random just having all of the answers. I mean, he is going to get through some more damage, but it's not quite enough.
His Zed will survive the following attack, though, thanks to that Guiding Touch.
Yeah, this is going to be rough. I'm not... It's so weird to me how BBG has decided to play this. It just seems like he's just, okay, well, I'm just going to be as aggressive as possible. I don't really care what my opponent does. And I'm just going to say, hell with it. Good luck. You know, if you either have the Ruination or you don't. Like, even that turn, just playing into Ruination, just not caring whatsoever. Knowing that there's 3 Ruination on the side of Random just seems really risky. But we do now have a Zed with Overwhelm. So this could still be a win condition here.
Maybe. Random does still have a fair amount of mana available. Still, I mean, he doesn't have a lot of cards in hand. If he had a Glimpse Beyond, I would actually like to just proactively, glimpse the Anivia here to get a little bit more card generation. But, I mean, if he's not playing anything on 7 mana, I assume he has some kind of answer for this Zed. Maybe another Vengeance.
Ooh, yeah. So now... Again, I mean, you gotta. He's gonna. Oh wow! Oh, that's a top deck. BBG in his picture, same exact thing. He just goes.
Oh, Random.
Wow. And still, again, BBG just. I don't care if you have a Ruination. I'm playing my Lee Sin. What the hell do I care? I think this might be game now.
Oh, and gets the Zenith Blade, so he's got. The Overwhelm for the Lee Sin as well. I mean, I'm sure Random has something.
I don't know if does he need it. I think he has more units on board. He has 2 Overwhelm units, so both Overwhelm units need to get dealt with, and he's gonna definitely push 3 damage. So I don't know if there's any possible potential of combination of cards that Random could have to live here.
Yeah, Harsh
Winds. Yeah, I always forget about Harsh Winds in this deck. I don't know why I'm thinking that it's not playing Freeze every time that I'm watching this deck play, but. And just again, I gotta question why BBG is opting to be so aggressive, just knowing that he's playing into all these options every single time.
I think this is a matchup where you can't play too scared of it. And you know the problem that I've always had with the Zed is that it doesn't seem to function as the best secondary win con. It's not it's not that often that you actually see the Zed completely take over a game.
Now, what I will say is there's more damage pushed a little bit, and
Teeny bit.
and we can't play a Rekindler yet. The issue is if Random can open with a Rekindler, actually no, that won't even do it. So there's no way for Random to attack with these Anivias and actually kill BBG's field, which is good.
Well, the
Harrowing would do it, but okay. Here's the Rekindler. So this is only 4 to everything. So, all right. I was gonna say, is he gonna do this on the Lee Sin? Yeah. Okay. So this again. These units will live to see another day and open attack, most likely, on the next turn. So this is just basically BBG every turn going, I'm going to attack with everything. I'm going to have these overwhelm units. I'm going to have, Lee Sin's Dragon Rage. And every single turn, you either need to have the answer or not. And hopefully, eventually, you just run out of answers.
It's not unreasonable. Everything is, or at least the Zed is lined up for any 1 damage removal spell. BBG will have priority, might even throw out some gems after the fact.
I imagine, yeah, there's no reason not to. You want both to be outside of, probably 1 onto the Lee Sin as well, so it's outside of Grasp. Oh, no, he's got the barrier now. Doesn't need to.
Yeah, and Zenith Blade number 2 going to come down onto the Zed.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, like, there's answers out of Random. The Harsh Wind seems a little desperate as the previous one, unless he has yet another copy. There's only 1 main decked Harsh Winds, though.
I'm not sure why he went Gem Zenith Blade if he's worried about Grasp, because Grasp still would have, but I mean, I guess it doesn't matter.
I think he was worried about Vial or Withering. There's Catalyst. That's really not a lot random.
This is it. So this is what BBG I think was.
Oh, and Deny picked up BBG with these Deny top decks.
He is playing. Is he playing 3?
I think so.
Yeah, and 3 Nopify too. So I guess it shouldn't really surprise us that he constantly just has some sort of Deny option in hand.
It's more so how timely they come for how long he spends the game without them. And now every single hit is lethal. You can't even double block the Zed and his clone in order to get it, so I mean, it would take multiple Frostbite effects at this point. Even a single Harsh Winds isn't enough to get it done. And with that Deny in hand, I would think that BBG
I think he's good.
Should be able to stop enough of what Random has coming out to just take this one.
Yeah, and Random only plays 1 Harsh Winds. So that was the one and only that we saw the previous turn.
There's the Anivia spell.
And there are 2, there's 2 Flash Freezes main decked as well, plus the Anivia spells.
Well, there's the Anivia's Harsh Winds.
Yeah, okay.
And that actually will be enough.
Wow.
I don't know why I was thinking you could only Harsh Winds the Zeds for some reason. And that's going to let an Anivia live. And now, I mean, if you deny one of the Anivia abilities, your board still survives, and you can try again next turn. Or at least your Zed survives.
I guess, when you really think about this matchup, I'm trying to ask myself, like, okay, is there another way to play this besides how BBG played it? And I'm thinking, okay, if you play it a little slower, are you ever going to get yourself in a position where you outmaneuver your opponent into being able to, get a Dragon's Rage off with Lee Sin? And I don't think there is. I just don't think it's ever going to happen.
So BBG could have lived it too there, but he will have lost his Zed and his Lee Sin, so not going to be enough. And that is going to be Random picking up game number 1.
Wow, okay, so now I'm very curious to see if BBG is going to go ahead and side deck anything in here. You got to think that this is not the easiest matchup. And I think, we're starting to see why maybe people decided to opt for TLC. And this wasn't TLC, this is obviously Anivia, but it's a very similar build, with the Frostbite, with Vengeance, Ruination, all the removal and stuff. You got to start to think that this is why people are bringing these decks, because it does target and deal with Lee Sin quite well in most scenarios with these plethora of frostbite effects here. So
look at you using the big words again, bringing us back to the vocabulary lessons.
Them grammar days, man. I'd have that notepad somewhere. We had a pretty big working list.
Yeah.
Now we have to start making a list of all the catchphrases that we could think of, like load the toad, anything but the you know what phrase that we don't speak on this channel. So, so yeah. Now BBG's side deck. What do we got going on for this?
I don't know, because you submitted it as a deck code. I don't even know if I can like pull that up in Runeterra, man.
I think you can. Hold on.
I'm gonna have to import like 15 cards out of a deck. Blech.
Yeah, no, you can pull it up in Mobilytics. So
Okay.
there's 3 health potion, so that's gonna be aggro, 1 hush, 2 divergent paths, 3 tasty fey folk, 2 bastion, 1 concussive palm, and 3 will. So you gotta figure the 2 bastion were sided in.
Yeah.
My only other thoughts are the concussive palm and the wills. Maybe concussive palm.
See, I would think will over concussive palm.
For what in particular?
Just Anivia.
Just the Anivia? Yeah. I mean, it just... The reason I kind of have that tone, too, is I don't think that these side deck options are necessarily the best for BBG in this matchup.
No, not at all. They kind of suck here.
Yeah. I mean, Bastion obviously will get work done, but I think...
Yeah, that one's pretty good, but...
It's a pretty bad matchup. Not going to lie. So I think this is why we're seeing so much TLC, so it'll be interesting to see if Lee Sin just ends up getting conquered today by these TLC, these War Mother, or these Anivia decks.
There are 2 Unspeakable Horror that Random can bring in if he wants to just play more towards popping the Bastions.
Yeah, I mean, he's got to expect that BBG is bringing in the Bastions. We do see all 3 Bastion in BBG's deck on that deck tracker, and Random probably expects that, so I think you're right. I think we are going to see the Unspeakable Horrors come in. So we'll see how this plays out. I like Random playing the 2 Chronicler of Ruin in the main deck as well. Just throwing that one out there real quick.
Yeah, being able to get those additional Anivias for 4 mana, super powerful, but I feel like a lot of times we watch this Anivia deck get on a bit of a hot streak, and then we get to a point where they just don't draw Anivia for 30 turns.
You know, I'm not going to lie. That has actually happened. Like, I've seen that happen more often than I'd like to admit, with people just not drawing Anivia, and it feels really bad because, you know, it's the win condition. If you don't draw it, your deck just does nothing. So...
Which is wild because the Anivia decks run in Treat, and I feel like we watch Anivia struggle with it more than Lee Sin does.
Well, I think therein lies why people run in Treat. Because they're like, we can't draw this. We need to... Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised to see 3 of in Treat. I think I've seen it before. This one only running 2 on the side of Random. So we'll see if he's able to find it early. But early Avalanche, though, out of Random. Not bad. Going to be able to prevent this Mentor of the Stones from generating... any additional value with the +2/+2, and
instead it's going to be a 3/3 anyway, thanks to the gems that pop out of the Mentor, but prevented the additional 1 HP onto it.
And get a Dragon Link too. So this is not bad as far as aggression is concerned on this turn. There's really no good plays for Random either. We could see a Sentry or a Tavern Keeper come out here on turn 5, as far as units are concerned. So. We'll see.
Is this the game where nobody sees their champions and we just watch an Eye of the Dragon completely steamroll a game?
We've already seen that once today. Wait, wasn't it? That was Annie Desu earlier. That ended up build.
I think so. Up to like a 6/9 or something.
Build your own Eye of the Dragon.
Here's Eye of the Dragon. I mean, yeah, slam the eyes, slam the Zenith Blade. See if I care. Never mind. We're just going all in on the 1.
Oh man.
If this Anivia attacks, it could get hushed and blocked.
Don't say negative things like that, Boulevard.
That's what casting is.
I know. Feels bad, man. Yeah.
I just got really confused because someone added someone else in BBG's chat and the person's name was Shit Happens.
Oh man, where have they been my whole life?
I was like, SJW, what are you doing over in BBG's chat? We're casting right now.
That's my alternate personality. If you didn't know, shit just works and shit happens. So it looks like, considering now it's not just one Eye of the Dragon. We could possibly have a army of Eye of the Dragons with these Zenith Blades right now, and it looks like we are going to get the concussive pop. Was that There's 2 in there. Did he side deck 1 in, or was he main decking only 2?
I think he was only main decking 2.
Yeah.
That's pretty common.
Okay, yeah, he main decked 2, so the third one is still on the side deck.
BBG is just going full aggro though. This is the way to play this matchup, I think, if you're gonna have a chance, especially when you don't have your Lee Sin. You really have to play to the cards given to you. And here we're gonna see, I mean, a pretty decent open attack. It would be,
wow.
I think, 10 damage by my count without the Zed. So we'll see how this one comes out. And Zed does pair beautifully into the deny for anything like a Ruination.
I was just gonna say he pairs beautifully into Ruination, but now we actually do have the deny as backup, so we're not just blatantly playing into the face of Ruination, not giving any F's in the world about I almost slipped there and said that. I've actually avoided saying the F word on stream, so
I think I've said the F word like 3 times on stream.
I know. I'd say it's a personal thing of mine I'm trying to get better at. So
okay, shit just word.
I know, right? That's the irony.
I try not to do it too, but my co-caster makes me swear every time I want to toss it over to him.
That's the irony.
Send him a little dopamine by saying his name.
Dopamine. Oh man. That's funny. I just read this book, like something Superman or whatever, where they talk about dopamine and chemicals in your brain and stuff. It's funny you said that, but it's a good book.
So this is a beautiful Withering Wail, but so Random can survive if he wants to just block the Eye of the Dragon. He would love to get the value by blocking the Zed, but does need some kind of follow-up. Flash Freeze, not ideal. You really wanted to start cleaning up some of these other units. Believe that 2 spells have been... Oh, no, only 1 spell played by BBG, so he won't have the Dragonlings on the following turn. Not that it really matters. It's not like Random is going to be a big aggressor next turn, but he does need to find some way to start cleaning up these smaller units.
Yeah, 3 health. Not looking too hot for Random. I mean, there is plenty of heal. We'll see what we get. Ooh, we actually are going to get a Chronicler for the time being. Only still going to have 1 Anivia for the attack, though, so we'll see how much this Anivia can do. Having 2 overwhelm units, which I think it looks like PPG again just playing for the I'm just going to attack with everything and hope that I can push enough damage through before my opponent has enough heal, which I don't necessarily think, just watching this match play out, I don't necessarily think that's the wrong way to go about things, but when you look at this spell lineup from Random or any Anivia or TLC or War Mother's deck, 3 Glimpse, or sorry, not Glimpse doesn't matter, that's just draw. 3 Vial, 2 Flash Freeze, 3 Avalanche, 2 Catalyst of Aeon, 1 Grass the Undying, 2 Withering Wail. Like, there's so many, and that's not even the big stuff. There's just too many tools, I think, to really expect to just aggro your way through all of them.
Yeah, but BBG does tap down below Bastion mana, and that does mean that one of these big units is off the table. A little less healing going to be needed by Random to pull back into this one now. Doesn't have lethal available as long as we are willing to block with the egg. Actually, we might now with that Resonating Strike top deck. Yeah.
That just changed the game here, and we have the Bastion. And I think, listen, BBG has been playing like this entire match. He's going for it, obviously. Why not?
Yeah.
Like, you already have lethal on board, too, which means your opponent needs to take the first action. Although, unless you're worried about the freeze. So, yeah, if there's 2 freeze, then, well, he's... Actually, if there's 2 freeze, he's fine. If there's 2 freeze, he is still okay. I think this is this game no matter what? Is this game? I got to do some calculations in my head.
I'm trying to think of what something like a Grasp of the Undying looks like here.
A Grasp of... Wait, Vile Feast. It would have to be maybe Vile Feast. No, I think this is game, I think. Yeah, here's another. Yep. This is game.
Yep.
Wow. Woo! Look at that top two.
That
Again with the top decks. What is this, man?
Oh, man.
Oh, now it's not even deny. It's a Resonating Strike for the win. And this is what I mean with this card, Resonating Strike. Like, it does so much for this deck. It's insane.
And that's exact lethal, too.
Yeah.
Imagine if that was still a Dragon's Rage. That sucked.
Who needs Dragon's Rage when you have buffed up Eye of the Dragons and Claws of the Dragon?
Nobody ever needed Dragon's Rage, man.
What a bad
skill.
Just
auto queue into the next game as well.
Oh, yeah, he didn't even... All right. Yeah, and it looks like Random not opting to make any changes in the side deck either, so we'll see. Generally, I mean, from my experience playing Yu-Gi-Oh! In person and doing side decks, generally the third game, everybody was pretty content with their side deck choices, regardless of winning and losing. Sometimes you get some changes, but...
The really awkward part about digital card games especially is that generally any side deck changes that happen between game 2 and 3 in a physical card game happen because you are going first or second, different from what you did in game number 2.
Yep.
But you don't know if you're going first or second going into game 3 here. And I don't think that the first versus second tempo is nearly as important in something like Legends of Runeterra as it is in sort of like mana-based card games like Magic the Gathering.
Yeah, no, I agree. A big part of that is this spell mana system, which I love in this game. So just throwing that out there. But not a good hand from how BBG's been playing. If we know BBG, he wants to just summon things to the board and go face. And this hand does not do any of that. So
I mean, I think he'd take a Lee Sin as well, but you know, gonna struggle to find that one. Does have all 3 Bastions already, as well as a Nopify, so gonna be feeling pretty to sit on whatever he does find. No Zenith Blade yet, though, to really start the aggro train of pumping, and honestly, things just not looking nearly as good as they did in game number 2.
Oh man, yeah, this is this is not looking hot whatsoever for BBG. And so now...
And there's a Zed to turn it all around. Yeah. But there's an Anivia to keep it locked down.
Yeah, I don't... I think that as much as BBG has wanted to play the I'm just going to aggro you out of tools to deal with my aggro, I think he might need to play a little bit of a slower game just with the way that his hand has been drawn. But, I mean, granted, you've drawn all your spells, so you're bound to start drawing units, right? So we'll...
No.
No, it's not how that works.
3, 6.
How many?
9.
How many are there?
Well, there are 12 units in this deck.
Okay, so now it's about an equal chance to draw units and spells. Probably not even. I think there's probably still more spells in this deck. God, nobody's showing units any love.
If I'm seeing this correctly, he actually sided out Mountain Goat.
Interesting. Yeah.
So he actually took units out.
So okay. Okay, so he really just wants to go all in on Zed, Lee Sin, or apparently Eye of the Dragon, if he can.
I mean, that is ideal, but it doesn't always work out like that, and that's why you do play things like Mountain Goat.
We also don't have Zenith Blade yet, which is a big deal. We could, deep met into it, but that's not really going to do much because you won't get the Daybreak effect. It just seems a little bad. They can't even really attack freely with this Zed right now because of this Anivia hanging out right there. Concussive Palm the Anivia might be okay. Yep. Looks like he's thinking about it. God, now that just the way he's been playing is like me when I want to play an aggro deck, where I'm literally like, I don't care about you on the other side of the field. I just care about damage. That's what I'm doing. And this is literally BBG's strategy this whole game. Oh. That's rough.
So this isn't bad. You do have the Bastion to protect one of your units, which, the Zed makes the most sense as to something to protect. Now, I mean, now there's no blocker on the side of Random. Does still have Grasp of the Undying mana, though.
Yeah, and there's no way for BBG to block any sort of follow-up. The Darius emote, I don't think there's any reason for Random to bluff on the Darius emote there. Because BBG pretty much has to open attack here, so I'm curious to see if we do see a Grasp of the Undying come out, or if he actually just doesn't have Grasp, and that's just a free-leveled Zed, which is really good right now because he's at 4 health, and that's outside of Grasp range now.
Sentry number 2 coming down for Random. Gonna float that 3 spell mana into nowhere because the Chronicler of Ruin is coming down to get another shiny new Anivia. And now, I mean, Random, for the first time this series, seems to have found himself a little bit wider than BBG, so will have all sorts of tools available to survive the following few turns.
We do have a Hush. I'm not sure how much that's going to do here.
I know exactly how much it's going to do here. Not a lot.
No Zenith Blade, unfortunately. I imagine we'll see a Guiding Touch. We need to dig for the Zenith Blade.
Okay, he has 9 in hand.
Yeah,
do you Guiding Touch the face, or do you Guiding Touch your Zed?
Yeah, I was just thinking that.
So we saw him run into this problem earlier where he tapped down below Bastion mana and got punished for it.
Yeah.
There are, still the possibility of Vengeance in Random's hand as he is sitting on 8 mana.
Yeah, and I don't think there's a reason to risk Guiding Touch at this point, actually. So, and burning your opponent of 5 mana versus you only burning 2, I think is a trade you'll take. Here's the Lee Sin, but still no Zenith Blade. Man. Yeah, bet you. All right, all those people saying only play 2 Zenith Blade. This is what this gets you, all right? He's playing 3 and he can't find it, and look what this looks like now. Jesus.
It's embarrassing.
I'm in camp 3 Zenith Blade all day, every day. I don't care what anybody says. So it looks like, I mean, we still are going to have a decent attack here, and we do still have 2 Bastions. So, like, things aren't looking terrible, but they're not looking good either. And Resonating Strike. All right. Well, we're going. Do you expect anything?
We're going below
less?
Bastion. Oh no, we are not going below Bastion mana.
Oh, here we go.
Why did we give? Oh, okay. I thought the Resonating Strike was played onto the Lee Sin to give it Challenger, and I was like,
All right. So this is okay.
It ain't great.
Yeah. It always feels so bad when I see somebody go all in on a Lee Sin, and I'm like, oh, look, no Overwhelm. What did you really just accomplish there? I mean, you do get 7 damage to the face, so it's not like you're not doing damage with that Dragon's Rage, but it just doesn't feel quite as good as an Overwhelm. So we'll see if BBG really at this point is going to be able to survive next turn's attack from Random and still keep his units.
I just want to take a quick second to express sort of my disappointment that the Zed Shadow copying Challenger doesn't mean anything because it doesn't come out until attacks are locked in.
Yeah. I can't tell you how many times I've thought to be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna give Zed Challenge. Oh wait, never mind.
This could be Vile Feast and Vengeance. There are 2 spells lined up. There's Vengeance and there's Vile Feast. That very specific sequence of cards that we constantly see going to take out the Lee Sin.
Called it but earlier.
There is...
That feels bad.
Yeah. And I don't think this Zed without Overwhelm is going to be enough to take this back, especially now with the Anivia leveling.
Man,
Mentor of Stone's kind of a nothing draw.
I'll tell you, this entire series, even the game where BBG won.
Oh, there it is.
Oh, hey, a little late now, but can he live, I guess, is the question. Can he block and live?
He's going to die by 2, so he needs specifically Concussive Palm. And yeah, now even with this last Pale Cascade, won't have the mana to play it. He does need 3 HP in order to live, and that is just going to be the GG. And BBG going to fall here. Random7HS, both of these players, previous Duels of Runeterra champions, but Random is going to get the better of him on the day.
Wow. Yeah, and it just, so like I just started saying there, it feels like in that entire match, BBG, even in his win, even though BBG still got some ridiculous top decks, it seemed like every single turn, Random had the answer. Random had a Frostbite. Random had, a Vengeance. Random had Vile Feast and Vengeance. Random had a Grasp of the Undying. Every single time. And all right, Random taking it home there. Going to take down BBG and the Lee Sin deck, which we, by this point in the day 1 of Swiss rounds, have seen all over the place, this Lee Sin deck. All over the place. And again, this is a new format. If you guys don't remember, this is no longer a 3-deck, 1-ban format. This is a 1-deck, 15-side deck format, 15-card side deck. So we'll see how that's going to affect kind of the deck layout. I'm sure there'll be some analytics on Reddit after the tournament is said and done. But as always, everybody stay healthy, stay positive. I hope shit just works for you, and peace out.